The vampires we know are revenants, that is, human corpses that return from the grave to harm the living. Oh, that movie makes a whole lot more sense now. Anyway, these have Slavic origins and are only a few hundred years old. The older vampires were not human, but supernatural or even demonic entities that did not take human form. It is impossible to prove where the myth first arose, but it may go back to ancient Greece. But we will start in Europe, where tales of walking corpses that drank the blood of the living flourished in the wake of disease. Lacking understanding of infectious disease, the Europeans just assumed the next logical thing, that vampires first targeted their family. Yeah, people are weird. Characteristics associated with vampires can be traced back to diseases like porphyria for sunlight sensitivity, tuberculosis for wasting or having your life force sucked from you, pellagra for thin skin, and rabies, which causes biting and sensitivity. So to become a vampire, you need to get hypersensitivity and a nightmare disease. The Europeans also dug up suspected vampires, and lacking knowledge for decomposition, they thought that the receding gums and the appearance of growing hair and nails meant that the corpses were coming alive. Another possibility for the origins is the pronouncement of death of people who were not dead, but simply very drunk or ill and in a coma. They later miraculously came to life, sometimes after getting buried. This became a big fear after people figured out that they were simply burying living people by accident instead of having a vampire problem. That's a story for another time. Modern vampires seem to stem from Gothic European literature of the 18th and 19th centuries, Dracula being one of the most important ones, as it inspired countless other works. Nosferatu, a 1922 film, was the first that depicted vampires as being vulnerable to light. Vampires started appearing in... What? Seriously, Jerry, did you have to add this? Yeah, you do have a point. I do have to mention it. Okay, they started appearing in romance novels and movies in the late 20th century. And this gained popularity into the 21st century with books like The Twilight Saga by Stephanie Meyer. Vampires also became unusual action heroes. They aren't even safe from manga and anime. For those who are clueless, like I was, mangas are Japanese comics, and just to be fair, anime is Japanese cartoons. I much prefer the vampires as they were originally intended for horror and thriller stories. Even after all these years, urban myths of vampires have floated around and have appeared as recently as the early 21st century. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.